Well, good morning, everybody. It is Tuesday, November 5th, 2019, here on the Unfiltered podcast. You can also find this on, if you can't watch this live, you can find us on YouTube as well, on my YouTube page, Earnest Christian Media. You can also find the audio version of the show. If you can't find it also, or you can't watch this, you can also watch it, listen to it on the podcast feed, go on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Earnest Christian Unfiltered. Today's show, quickly, we'll talk about last night's Monday Night Football game, which is not really surprising necessarily. My Giants lose again, but it is what it is. My Week 10 power rankings, top five, bottom five. My college football playoff four, and my reaction that I should did yesterday on FSU firing Willie Taggart as their head coach after a year and a half. So, Giants Cowboys. Cowboys win 30-18. Takeaways. Not much really here to say about that game because there's two teams right now in different places right now as a franchise. The Giants right now are rebuilding. I've said it already, and I'm a Giants fan, so I'm speaking as a fan number one, that I would rather the Giants go 2-14. I'd rather they go 2-14, but know that they are developing, knowing that Daniel Jones is getting better every week, than just people saying, "Well, bring back Eli Manning in the line." Like, what? No. That's the idea of this is we're rebuilding. It's not a good team. We always knew it was going to be a throwaway year anyway, even with Eli starting the year. So Daniel Jones being in there, it's the more reps he gets, the better. He didn't have really a great game yesterday necessarily. He didn't have a horrible game either. I thought the Cowboys defense was just much better in general. So you can't really blame the Giants. I mean, you can't blame Jones because the Cowboys was a better team last night. Giants had opportunities to put the game away early. They couldn't. The first play of the game, they get an interception, and then the Giants go 3 and out at the goal line. In the red zone. That's all you need to know about that. So again, the Giants are not a good football team right now. They are probably bottom 5, bottom 6 in the league right now. Not sure they'll be in my bottom 5 right now, but they're different places now. But right now, the idea for the Giants, the priority for the Giants right now is uh, development. As long as you're developing Daniel Jones, more reps, it's a young secondary, it's a young defense, which is quite frankly quite horrible anyway. So it is what it is. So the Giants are in a different place. They're just rebuilding. And honestly, like I said, I don't. To me, it's less about wins losses and more about development. As for the Cowboys, now I was high on the Cowboys before the year started. I was high on the Cowboys the first 3 weeks, and people gave me shit for it when I had them like number 2 in my power rankings at one point for a few weeks there. Obviously, I was proving wrong about that. I overrated the Cowboys a little bit to some degree because after winning the first 3 games, I guess at the time, the worst teams in football, they also have kind of come back to earth a little bit. Now they won the last couple of games, which is good. They beat Philadelphia and they beat the Giants this week, of course. Look, you look at the NFC right now. I'm not right now. We're halfway through the year. I am still on the defense of the Cowboys. I think they're definitely a playoff team, definitely a playoff contender. But the NFC is tough right now, man, because there's only six teams get in, and you got 4 division winners and 2 wild cards. You have obviously your locks. Right now, your locks right now in the NFC are this. So you have San Francisco, the Niners are a lock in the West. The Saints are a lock in the South. Okay, the Packers are a lock in the North. I trust the Packers more than the Vikings. So I'm putting the Packers as a lock in the North, and then you have between the Eagles and the Cowboys. I believe the Eagles will take off in the second half of the year. If I had to base my predictions for the year started, I would probably put the Eagles as a lock in the East based on my predictions. But this is tight now. I think both teams are. Cowboys are I think 5-3 right now, and I think the Eagles are 5-4. Although the Cowboys have a tiebreaker by virtue of beating them a couple weeks ago. So if the Cowboys are going to get in, they need a division. Okay. Because then you have the wild cards, and the wild cards are now Seattle's 7-2. Although I think Seattle's not all that good, honestly. Being 7-2, I think Russell Wilson's amazing. There's a reason why Russell Wilson is my MVP right now in the league. Then you have, of course, Carolina's hanging around at 5-3. You got Minnesota 6-3 that could have put more distance themselves in the event they came in the division by losing to Kansas City, but they dropped the ball there. So it's a tight race in the NFC right now. I would still say maybe the East takes 2, the North takes 2. No, I think the West takes 2, most likely because of Russell Wilson, and I think the North would like to take 2 teams. So which means the Cowboys has to win the NFC East to get in the playoffs. End discussion. But I mean, They played well last night for the most part. They had a slow start, a couple mistakes early in the game, but when you're playing a team that's much worse than you are, you better win those games, regardless of where the game's at. And they did that. And so that's all that matters. So now they're 5-3, still in first place in the NFC East, and they got to keep pounding going forward. So that's just that. Okay. Now, yeah, me too. It's funny you said that because the narrative about the Black Cat was that they're saying, "Oh, it's just going to be the Cowboys." It's going to curse the Cowboys, and I thought it was stupid. It's like, yeah, they're not going to. Please, the Giants. I'm a Giants fan, and they suck. But it's okay. It's a rebuilding year. So, all right. My Week 10 power rankings. Here we go. Top 5, bottom 5. My top 5. We got some change up this week because the Pats lost. So, 1 through 5. Here we go. 1, Niners. 2, Saints. 3, the Patriots. 4, the Ravens. And 5, I am going to leave the Packers there at 5, despite their loss to the Chargers. Only because I have more faith in Aaron Rodgers. I call the loss for the Packers against the Chargers because I said it was a letdown game because I have to come up Kansas City on the road still, all that. I think it says more about San Diego or LA. I call them San Diego still. I don't give a shit. Being desperate in that moment. They're a really good team. For 4-5 team. They're still a good team. So I call that game. So I'm going to leave Packers with 5. They went up from 4-5 this week. So again, Niners, Saints, Patriots, Ravens, and Packers in order 1 through 5. My bottom 5, a little bit of shake up here because the Dolphins won the first game of the week. So 28-32. 28, the Falcons, who's idle this week. 29, the Redskins. 30, the Dolphins, who up a spot. 31, the New York flipping Jets. They stink. And 5, of course, the Bengals were still unbeaten. So there you go. Again, top 5, Niners, Saints, Patriots, Ravens, Packers. And by the way, while the Saints are number 2 in the rankings, I ask if you ask me right now, gun to my head, who is the best team in that conference in the NFC, I go New Orleans still. Now, we'll know more in a couple weeks because the Niners do play the Saints and the Packers in the weeks to come. So we'll see what happens there. All right. My college football playoff 4. Here he goes. Not a surprise here because 3 teams here were idle. So 1, LSU. 2, Alabama. They play this weekend. Cannot wait for that game. Cannot wait. I already got the pizza and the wings on the way. Ohio State 3 and Clemson 4. Now, here's the fun with this 4 here. Things will work itself out here. Clemson has an easy schedule to the way, so as long as they're unbeaten, they'll be fine. Ohio State, this gets a little tougher in the weeks to come, so we'll see whether or not they are legitimate. Obviously, got Penn State hanging out. I have Penn State probably number 5, but it's hanging outside there. Again, Alabama also plays this weekend. That works out about going forward. No Pac-12 teams just yet. Well, I'll tell you what, Oregon is playing some good football right now, and look out for that. All right. Finally, I did not react to this on Sunday after I did my little quick thing here, Periscope here, about the FSU Miami game. But this happened a couple hours before he got fired. Willie Taggart got fired by the Knowles on Sunday. I'm actually shocked that happened, only because of the fact that the money they owed him for the next 3 years beyond this year. And I just thought they were gonna just stay pat for another year or so, at least throughout the year. I'm more shocked the fact they fired him in the middle of the year. I figured they played the year out and then they'll fire him probably close to bowl season, when we call it. So, but look, it had to happen. And I'm not saying he's the only problem, but they haven't got any better. I mean, Florida State started falling apart pretty much at the end of Jimbo Fisher, but Jimbo Fisher was smart to take the money and run. All right, Willie Taggart. It's been bad. I mean, I root for the guy, but it's been bad. I'm an Knowles fan, so I mean, obviously, I want the guy to do well, but it's been bad for the last 2 years. I mean, they're showing no improvement, and the fact that they could have been easily at least 6-2 or whatever it may be, because there were games this year they blew the first 4 games of the year. Now, granted, some of those games they won, but there were some games this year where they had big leads against Boise State, for example, and they blew leads there. Games against Virginia had leads and blew those games late. That's on coaching. That's on coaching. So, and obviously as a Florida State fan and people who root for the team, obviously they're not used to this FSU being this mediocre and this bad as they've been the last couple of years. I mean, I've been a fan for 29 years, and the fact that last year they missed a bowl game for the first time in 36 years, the first time it's a bowl game, that's insane. That's insane. So this had to happen. Obviously, think of ideas of who should they go after as coach. Look, I'm not the biggest Urban Meyer fan in the world, and I don't think he'll come here anyway. But if he's even remotely interested in coming to Florida State, you go after Urban Meyer. I'll take the hit for a couple of years. Yeah, no, I'm a hypocrite, yes, but I'll take a couple of years. So there you go. So that's it. Yeah, I guess follow me on Twitter, of course, at Each7. Earnest Christian Podcast on iTunes, Stitcher. Again, this also, you can't watch this show here live on Twitter/Periscope. It'll be on my YouTube page at Earnest Speaking Media, as well as audio only on the Earnest Speaking Unfiltered feed. So, talk to you guys later. God bless y'all. Have a good Tuesday. Stay up.